Well, it comes down to this, the last class in our ranking series for Baldur's Gate 3, and that is the Bard. Been looking forward to this one, not really, but little housekeeping before we get to the Bard. And here is the updated tier list, and you guys were absolutely right about Circle of the Moon. I let my bias get the better of me. Circle of the Moon definitely deserves to be an A tier at the very least. You get 2 health pools. It synergizes with Tavern Brawler. This could very easily be an S tier class if you're a big fan of the Druid. But I definitely think it belongs side by side with something like the Eldritch Knight, the Giant Battle Master. It's definitely up there as far as an upper echelon martial character. So with that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about the Bard. Alright, and the first Bard subclass that we're going to talk about is College of Valor. Now, every Bard gets their class resource Bardic Inspirations, and they also all get to pick up some spells. They're kind of like a hybrid class overall, and they also get an additional short rest that they can apply to the party. So really well-rounded overall. College of Valor here, they changed their Bardic Inspiration into a Combat Inspiration. So normally a Bardic Inspiration, it lets you alter attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. But with Combat Inspiration here, it lets you change or add that dice roll, that 1d6, to weapon damage and armor class as well. Now that Combat Inspiration addition is only going to last 1 roll, meaning if you want those benefits, you're going to have to reapply Combat Inspiration over and over again. Overall, I do think this subclass feature is pretty well-rounded, pretty good. It does give you something to do with your bonus action, but how this basically translates to like the later parts in the game, I don't think it's as strong as it first seems here, especially when we start to look at the other Bard subclasses. Now, at level 5, we get our next class features, and this is for every single Bard, but we're going to go through it once with College of Valor here. We get Font of Inspiration, so our Bardic Inspirations used to just come back on long rest. Well, now they come back on short rest too, and that's really good because of the additional short rest that every Bard has access to. We also get improved Bardic Inspirations here, so instead of a 1d6, it's now a 1d8, and later on this will be upgraded to a 1d10. Now I forgot to mention it in case you didn't really see there, but these Combat Inspirations, they can't apply to the Bard themselves. You have to basically, you can only dish them out to your allies, and that's a little bit of a downer because College of Valor here, it does tend to be more of a martial character, because when you pick up College of Valor, you get access to all martial weapons, you're able to use a shield, and you're medium armor proficient. But yeah, your additional weapon damage and armor class, yeah, that's reserved for your allies and not you. Now at level 6, this is when the Bard picks up their extra attack. So it is a level later than something like a fighter or Paladin. So Bards overall, they're kind of slow to get going as far as their power compared to the other, I would say, really strong classes and subclasses where they usually spike pretty early on, like level 3 and then 4 or 5. But for Bard here, as far as the martial side, yeah, they really don't hit their stride until level 6 here. Now at level 10, this is a huge jump in power for every Bard because your Bardic Inspiration, this is where it gets improved to 1d10, kind of mentioned that earlier, but every single Bard gets access to these magical secrets. And just looking at this spell list here, there are some real bangers. We have Haste, which makes this martial character extremely powerful. We also get something like Cone of Cold, you get Hunger of Hadar, you get Call Lightning. The sheer versatility as far as your choice of spells, it's amazing. It's just really good. And it comes at level 10, so a little bit later in the game, but there's no denying how strong it is just to pick any 2 of these spells. So late game wise, you can see that Bards are eating good with really strong magic and being a really good martial character. Now when ranking College of Valor, we kind of need to keep in mind how we ranked Fighter, where baseline fighters are all very strong just because of like what they all get intrinsically. Same here, same goes for the Bard here. But as far as how the subclasses are different, I think College of Valor here is very middle of the road. But there's no denying that every Bard class is one of the best characters, or I guess one of the best classes you can have as the face of the party. But you're going to see that the other Bard subclasses, 2 of them are just so much better than this. So I think I'm going to keep it in A- tier. I could slip it down to B tier. I don't know. This one is very tough for me to rank overall. Probably the most difficult one. The other ones I have my mind pretty much set on. But this one I'm like A minus, B tier, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to stick it in A minus tier, and let's move on. And next up is College of Swords. This is why I want to start with Valor first, because you're going to see that Swords is just so much better. It's going to blow it out of the water. First up, you get to pick a fighting style. The go-to is 2-weapon fighting. I think everybody would go with that. But you also get these subclass feature here. You get these flourishes. And then you get these melee ones. And they're pretty decent. But the real winners here is... Actually, the real winner is just slashing flourish range. So you pick up 2 hand crossbows. And you can target the same enemy twice with 1 action. This is a bug. You're supposed to only be able to target 2 different targets, but nope, you can double up on 1 enemy and just absolutely just delete them from the battle. This is extremely powerful if you build your swords bard here into a martial range weapon. So again, hand crossbows or bow and arrow, and this is unmatched as far as like damage in that field. And the last subclass feature for College of Swords comes at level 6, and that is just getting extra attack like College of Valor. And yeah, that's it for College of Swords. Now of course they also get magical secrets and the things we talked about during the College of Valor section. So couple all that together, and yeah, what do you get? Let's see. I'll tell you what you get. You get a subclass that is ranked as an S+ tier subclass. It is just that good. You have those slashing flourishes, you pick up the feat sharpshooter, eventually you're going to get your extra attack at level 6, you have haste later on, and you're an absolute monster on the battlefield. And with all the benefits of just being a bard just in general, so you know that extra short rest, charisma base, face of the party, College of Swords is broken. It is so good. It opens up the door to that S+ tier, because now that this is the last subclass that we're covering, we will at the end move some other subclasses up to S+ tier as well. I kind of want to see how the list would shake out overall, but now College of Swords here, this is the first one that I'm very comfortable saying, yeah, that's S+ tier. No doubt about it. I don't like bards, but I can understand how strong this subclass is, and we're not considering even multi-classing. We're just talking about base value. Just oof, it's broken, but in a good way. Stupid bards. Next up is College of Lore, and it has a very simple but really effective mechanic, and that is cutting words here. So we use our bardic inspiration to impose a penalty on the enemy's attack rolls or their saving throws, and we get to use this as a reaction. This may not seem like it's that good, but this is insanely powerful for a spellcaster, which College of Lore here leans into instead of being a martial character like Valor and Swords. No, they're an amazing spellcaster. Now at level 6, College of Lore, they get access to magical secrets early, and they're capped off at the level 3 spells, but the level 3 spells are some of the best spells in the game. So we have like Fireball, Call Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Haste, Hunger of Hadar, a lot of good choices. Now with cutting words, if we're using something like Fireball on a target, they roll a saving throw. If they succeed that saving throw, Fireball's only going to do half damage. But with cutting words, it's your reaction, and it's also a bardic inspiration. You're almost guaranteeing that they're going to fail that saving throw roll, meaning all these spells that are like this are going to succeed and do full damage. Same goes for control spells. So something like Command, Hold Person, Hold Monster, you're going to succeed those in controlling whatever your target is. This is very powerful against bosses. And because you're only using your reaction and your bardic inspirations, you can do this basically every time, because at this point, your bardic inspirations, they come back on short rest. This is insanely powerful as a spellcaster, and I hope you all realize that. I think you could make a case for Lore here also being S+, but we're just going to stick it in S tier. I don't want the bards to think I'm getting all cozy with them. Stupid bards. Finally, I get to talk shit about the bards, because now is the College of Glamour, the latest addition to Baldur's Gate 3. In College of Glamour here, their subclass feature is Mantle of Inspiration. They're using their Bardic Inspiration, and you give 2 allies, this will scale up later on, but you give 2 allies some temporary hit points. And then if they get hit with melee specifically, you will then charm that attacker. This is just kind of very underwhelming. Temporary hit points, in my opinion, not very hard to come by. You have stuff like Aid, False Life, and there are going to be things that are later on that you get that are just, I think just better. And for it to be designated to a subclass feature, not going to cut it in my book, Glamour. No siree. Now at level 6, the College of Glamour, they get their next subclass feature, and they get Mantle of Majesty Command. So this will give you the command ability, and you get to cast it basically for free for 10 turns. And if that enemy that you're casting command on is charmed, they're automatically going to fail their saving throw, and then command will go through. Command is one of the best spells in the game, and College of Glamour here gets to use it as a bonus action for 1 fight between long rest. That is just kind of very underwhelming. Again, as a subclass feature, because we already have command as a spell. And this, again, being between long rests is just, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Now at level 10, their Mantle of Majesty, you can cast it on everybody in your party, 4 targets, and it's gonna give them all 11 temporary hit points, so 44 hit points overall. This is a good support ability, but how much value you're putting in 11 temporary hit points this late in the game, I don't know, man. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I don't know what I'm saying. Put it this way: if College of Glamour wasn't attached to Bard, this would be one of the, I would say, probably most underwhelming subclasses in general. Very low on my list. I'm sticking them in C tier. If I had a buddy and I was playing with them and they're like, I'm gonna go College of Glamour, I would immediately ask, why? Why are you doing that? Why wouldn't you go with one of the other Bard subclasses? And that's kind of the same way that I feel about Champion for Fighter. If somebody goes Fighter and they say they're going Champion, I go, explain that one to me, Chief, because have you seen the other fighters? They're pretty good. So that's where College of Glamour is going, and that's where they're staying. Alright y'all, that is all the subclasses ranked. This is the final list right here, and we went ahead and promoted some of my, I guess, more favorite subclasses to that S+ tier that I think deserve it. Arcane Archer, of course, and Storm Sorcery. I think you could swap out Draconic, or you could throw Draconic probably up there in S+ tier, but I don't want to crowd it too much. Very opinion based for those S+ choices, except for College of Swords. I think that's just undeniably that powerful. Now, just as a final recap on this list, all these subclasses are being judged on their own. We're not talking about multi-classing. So that's why something like Thief, sitting very low. If we did weigh in multi-classing, this list would look pretty different overall, but that would take just as much time to flesh out. So we stuck to just the pure class as far as it performs in Baldur's Gate 3. And I didn't mention at the beginning, but I did promote Gloomstalker as well. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, you know what I was thinking? It was Ranger was one of the first classes we did, so I was very conservative because I didn't really know where everything was going to fall into place. But now that I've seen kind of like A was looking very crowded, I'm thinking Gloomstalker definitely deserves to be an S tier because it is just that good throughout the game. But anyways, y'all, that is the series done. We will have a super cut eventually of all the videos strung together. This was a long one, so if you've been here since the beginning, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, and take care.